Breaking the cycle to step forward. Authentic conversations from lived experience and a professional perspective in overcoming abuse with Chris and Beverley Ann.
Hello and welcome to Breaking the Cycle to Step Forward. I'm Beverley Ann and I'm with my lovely co-host.
Hi everyone, Chris here. Hope you're all well.
And today is episode 56 for our standard episodes for anyone who's been following us along the way. And it's all about vision boards today. And this is following a workshop that Chris and I have been involved in different ways. And it's something that's actually very close to my heart. And it can open up quite a conversation, Chris, can't it?
It can indeed. And obviously you've run a masterclass for the Survivors of Abuse charity. So it's just so fresh in our brains at the moment that we thought we would bring it to a podcast so that anyone else who wants to be involved in this kind of resource to help them with their recovery can use the tool that we've all found so helpful.
Yeah, and the thing is, vision boards can conjure up lots of different thoughts and feelings. But as we always say, it's doing it in the way that's right for you. And we're going to share some different examples of how to do it. But for me, I think the most important part is when we're in the survival aspect of experience. You know, for some of us, it was children growing up. For some people, it's as a young adult. For some people, it's in adult life as well. When we're in that fight or flight, we're just surviving. And I'd say just, I'm not diminishing it in any way. But part of that is that our right-hand side of our brain, the creative thinking, the one that questions things. Oh, what about this? Or what about the future? What would I like to do next week or the week after or next year or in a few years' time? And that gets shut down along with our emotions, and we start to work on autopilot. So what I like about a vision board as well is we're not goal setting at the moment. So there's no, oh, I've got to do this. I said I want to do that. No, we're taking away all those goals, because goals can be overwhelming at times. I think they're good, but they also can be detrimental, especially when you're feeling overwhelmed. And this is about creating space. This is about unblocking that right-hand side and saying, you know what, I know I feel stuck, but some people will feel stuck. Some people will do it because it's like, oh, I've got some space and I really want to do this with excitement. But for those people listening as well who are feeling stuck, actually, this is a great way to start opening those thoughts. And before I even start thinking about what's going to be on the vision board or how is it going to look, I think it's important to think about some questions that in our first part of the workshop that I open up and we speak about. And I'm just going to go through one or two questions. And these are quite, well, I'm going to say important, but actually you're the person that's actually answered those questions independently.
I have. Before we go there, Bev, can I sort of just share a few things about what the word vision board just even conjures up for some people?
Absolutely.
So I was on a retreat recently, and someone said they used to do vision boards, but they don't anymore. Reason being, because like you shared, if it's a goal setting vision board workshop type scenario, when you are coming or working through trauma, then that might not be the right thing for you to be doing. Now, I have done that and I did personally find it very beneficial, but I can clearly see that for some people who don't even understand that they have choice and that they can go out there and become and do whatever they want, if they don't see that for themselves right now, then that, as you said, can be completely overwhelming and just not realistic, and if anything can set them back in their journey of healing. So doing it the way that you're going to explain really opened my brain up to, yeah, I can see this is going to be a really beneficial tool for so many different people because of the way that you teach it. And having a vision can be so overwhelming. Just that word can be really completely overwhelming. But the way that you taught it and you got people to become involved in it, I just felt that it was just very natural and very helpful and supportive. So I'm handing back over to you. So please keep an open mind and please work through this process with us.
Yeah, and today is all about an overview, because obviously when we did the workshop, it was an hour and a half each workshop, and about a month apart on purpose. Because this is not an instant, oh yes, let's do this. Because it also, what's important is for some people, it will be about one area of their life. So it may be something personal in their own home. It may be something that's personal to them, you know, what they want. It may be something that's personal to them in their career or their business. So it really is about what's right for you. And I want to really make that clear. Okay, this isn't about you must do it this way. That's completely not what we're doing. So I'm just going to start with a couple of questions that we started with, and they're quite intriguing sometimes because often the question can feel quite similar but comes from a different direction. So I'm just going to go through one or two of them. So what am I ready to let go of? Or is there anything I want to let go of? And that's interesting as well, because language is important. Because some people hear things differently. And for me, I like the what am I ready to let go of? Because I'm in this place. It's like, yeah, I want to check in. What am I holding on to? What is it that actually, when I think about it, I've got some things to let go of. And if I'm even thinking about a wardrobe, and we all do this, what's in our wardrobe that we're ready to let go of? And I'm going to bring it back to a wardrobe because I think that's an easy analogy for anyone listening. And if there isn't something you can think of, is there anything I want to let go of? And even just that one question alone, when you go to your wardrobe to get dressed, suddenly you're grabbing the same things, but you become mindful of what you're doing. So I just want to give a simple analogy like that, so that for those people that really are, I don't want to do this. Okay, this is how, if this works for you, how you open up your mind.
Because some people might not even know that they need to let go of something. So sometimes if you're gonna keep it to a practical example, and I'm gonna just lean it over this way just a little bit into the uncomfortable. Sometimes you might be sitting with an emotion like an anger or feeling a bit discombobulated. You're just not feeling right. So what is that feeling? So try and think about, what is that feeling? Is it sadness? Is it loneliness? Is it anger? Is it upset? What is it? What is it causing you right at this moment in time? When Bev asks that question, what are you ready to let go of? And you might not be ready to let go of what you're holding on to, and that's absolutely fine. But let's be honest with ourselves. And if you're doing the wardrobe, great, you can follow Beverley and what she's going to bring into this. But if it is something that you're feeling or thinking, then let's start writing down exactly what is going on for us.
Absolutely. And for some people, there's that immediate, oh no, I'm not ready to let go of anything. Thank you very much. And I put my hands up to that one. Hence, the next question, what do you feel you are holding on to? And this is, and I'm going to do it now. For anyone not watching, I'm crossing my arms and putting it in front of me, because I can feel sometimes that that's what I do, right? And that means it's uncomfortable. Hold on a minute, I'm putting my barrier there. I'm not holding on to anything. And when I find myself doing that, okay, even about my wardrobe, and I use that analogy because it's a safe analogy for anyone listening. when I've got my arms crossed and I can feel my teenage self, I've got nothing that I'm holding on to. Actually, that's the time to really go into that. Okay, you've got nothing you're holding on to at the moment. Okay, we're just going to sit with that. There's no rush.
Yeah.
Okay, no rush at all. And what I find then is, because I've acknowledged how my body's reacted, which is an emotional response, that's when I want to go deeper.
Because you realise that you have got something that needs dealing with, even if you can't tangibly say what it is, you can feel it.
Yes. And if you can feel it, that's a great step.
Yeah.
That's a great step.
Because we do get some people that say to us that they're just numb to everything, don't we? So the fact that you can feel something is not better, it's just different to being numb, but it's just you're working through something.
Absolutely. And we've both been in those places of being numb, disassociating, not wanting to go there. Yeah. I've been there. I've sorted it. I don't need anything more to sort out. Okay. I've been there. And I'm talking to myself as much as anybody else at the moment, because, you know, I put my hand up. It's very easy to say that, and we have done. And we've said that in other podcasts. Again, those first two questions may be challenging. So this next one is the same thing, but in a different way. What do you find yourself moaning about regularly? Now, when I ask this question, this one often gets a smiling response, because we can do this. You know, let's think about our wardrobes again, and I'm going to take it back to there for people at the moment. I keep moaning I can't find things. Okay, so that's what I keep moaning about. I know tangibly the next step, but at the moment I'm not putting pressure on it. I'm just writing down. I'm finding I can't find things. I'm finding when I open my drawers, it's all messed up. It's not we're not looking at resolving it. We're just looking at, what is it you're moaning about?
Yeah.
Because that gives you your indicator. What is it you're feeling at the moment? I'm feeling frustrated. Fantastic. Write that down. I'm feeling frustrated.
Yeah. And I did. And after our conversation on Saturday, I did a lot of research yesterday. But I won't talk about that at the moment.
But it's really interesting.
It gets you thinking,
Yeah, and there really is not. We're not asking these questions to get the immediate answer. It's not about that. It's about thinking, and that's why we do this in the workshop. So we're just giving you some ideas. Now, again, what one thing would you like to change? Now, when you've got 10 things on your mind, it's really hard to pick out the one. But I always say, pick out the one that came into your mind first.
Yeah.
Because we're very quick to think of something and then go, oh, no. Actually, go with the thing that came out of your mind first, because that's the one that's closest to your heart. That's your subconscious one.
So going back to your wardrobe analogy, you can't find something in your wardrobe. It's all messy.
Yeah.
So what one thing would you like to change? So basically just tidy up your drawer.
One drawer. So
exactly.
For me,
but just one thing, tidy up one thing, do one thing.
Yeah. So for me, it would be one of the drawers that I use daily.
Yeah.
So what one would it be? What one makes me feel better? And I can tell you now, my wardrobe's pretty good, but I actually have, and I'll put my hands up, my makeup drawer, you know, the one with all my creams and things in like that. So even this morning I've opened it to put cream on my face, like my face is all cleansed. I've put cream on my face, and I've opened it up and I'm like, oh, that didn't make me feel good opening that. I need to sort that. But see how I'm not telling myself off.
No.
I want to sort it out now, so that when I do open it up, I feel good. I'm like, oh, what's in here?
Yeah. So that's just, so what can I let go of, or what am I ready to let go of? what do you feel you're holding on to? So that's coming at the same question from two different angles. What do you find yourself moaning about mostly? And what one thing would you like to change? And they could all be connected, but equally they could all be disparate.
Absolutely. And going back to my analogy, it's like I have things I have to do today. So
Mm-hmm.
and they're important. However, tonight, I'm not going to say I'm going to do the whole of that drawer, but tonight I will be mindful that when I'm getting ready for bed, actually, is there one thing I can do in that drawer? So not the whole drawer, but is there one little corner so that it starts me? But can you see how we're doing it step by step? We're not saying get the whole drawer out, tip them upside down on your bed, and then create all this. Because when we go into overwhelm, how many times do we do that? I've got to do this, 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 and this, and we add to the list.
Nothing gets done.
Yeah.
So you're obviously honing in on a specific task for ease of understanding, but you could equally do this to big stuff as well. So if you're feeling a particular way, very angry, for example, and you want to let go of that anger, then you need to understand what's causing the anger. And that might be a massive thing that needs sorting through counselling, for example, and all of that kind of thing. It might mean that you need to learn to put boundaries in place to stop whatever it is that's causing the anger in the first place. So it can be applied to that small thing or equally a bigger thing, but it just all depends what it is you need to change.
Absolutely. So this time last year, we're at the end of November, so we're coming into Christmas and New Year. I do like New Year. Excuse me. For me, it's coming to the end of the chapter, the end of the year. So I really think about this, and then it's like New Year. Oh, here we go. New book to start. What's the new year about? And even this time last year, I didn't necessarily do a vision board in the traditional sense of people, but I did use these questions and I wrote it down on a list. And I did actually create some change. And when I think about what I was doing this time last year,
Mm-hmm.
and a little bit of the frustrations and what I've changed, and I'm not saying that it was a smooth transition, but I wanted it. So as hard as it's been, that's what kept me going.
Mm-hmm.
And I've, so it's important for people to understand that it is possible, anything's possible, but we're talking about concentrate on the small steps, not the big steps.
Yeah. And apply this exercise for that one specific thing or one specific feeling, or you could do it as an overall for all areas of your life.
Yeah. So one of the things that I did, I'd committed to running the marathon. So this time last year I was like, whoa, you haven't lost the weight that you wanted to lose before you started the training. Maybe you need to up your training. Yeah, but I'm not feeling comfortable because I was going to run this, and actually I'm finding that I'm not running it. Okay, so what do you need support with? Okay, I need support with someone helping me to jog, because in my mind I thought I needed to run all the way through the marathon. But then through doing these questions, it's like, who says you have to run it?
Yeah.
What's important to you? What was important to me was to complete it.
Yeah.
So when I did do it, I made the decision, I'm going to focus on my walking. This is the bit I do well, and I'm going to get as fit as I can within my walking. But not only, it wasn't about losing the weight. I changed my direction and looked at what I needed to keep fueled with, and I really changed my diet, etc. So can you see how by doing these questions, it wasn't about you must do this. It was about me asking, what is it I wanted? I wanted to complete the marathon.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I completed it. And yes, I completed it in 7 hours 20. And I'm as proud as that time as somebody who did it in 3 hours.
Yeah.
So it's about you asking what's right for you, not for everyone else. And I think that's really important.
Yeah. So what's your next question, Bev?
Right. What do you feel is holding you back?
Mm.
Now, that was the one, you know, when we're talking about doing, for me, doing the marathon, what do you feel is holding you back? Was fear. I wanted to complete it, but what if I failed? Look at all the people I'd be letting down. And how many times do we think that? What if I fail? What would they think of me? But hold on a minute. Why are you doing this marathon? No, what is it you're doing it for? And it was to raise awareness. It was for inspiration, but it was also a personal challenge for me, for wellness, to show that, you know, the impacts of trauma can still enable you to do things physically, even if you have been diagnosed with chronic illnesses, you know, asthma, fatigue, pain, but it's finding your way to do it. So that, what is your biggest concern or fear? Again, that helped me to find solutions.
Yeah.
What would you eliminate from your life?
And again, these could be questions that bring up different answers, or it could all lean into a specific thing that's showing itself up as you go through the questions.
Absolutely. And this is where we don't realize sometimes, where we, you know, what do you find yourself constantly moaning about? We all do it in different ways. And we spend this whole podcast sharing what we moan about. But then sometimes also, when we continue to moan about it and we shine the light on it, then we're like, oh, what's it hitting on me?
Yeah.
What is it that's it's triggering something in me? What is that?
Yeah. And what can I do to change it or not? Because sometimes you can't, but it's acknowledging that you haven't got the gift or the control over a certain thing, and just going, right, okay, well, if I can't change that because it's someone else that's causing it, then you've got to change the way that you respond to it so it doesn't trigger something within you.
Yeah, and that comes into boundaries. Where's my boundary here? What can I do for myself? So I know I've got a stressful deadline this week. I know it. I can feel the adrenaline coursing through me. So for me to be able to do it, I'm having to break it down into smaller parts. But instead of thinking, oh, I've got to do all these hours and try and do it all together, no. If you do that, then you can go for a walk. Then come back. Then you do a bit more. Then do something else. Then come back to it. So be kind to yourself. And I think this is really important, you know, because it's very easy for us to be defensive, because we're talking about the small steps at the moment. And there's a reason. And I can actually hear my own brain going, yeah, but what about the important things? They're all important.
They're
all important. Because
just
we need
to
do
deadlines and some haven't.
Yeah. Now, this is something that is always challenging, especially if you're stuck in that place. What do I want to embrace? Now, we're sharing some of these questions all in one, so people can write these down, but please don't try and answer all of these all in one. You know, and the answers you do are not from your head, they're from your heart, and that makes a big difference. Yeah, don't put, oh, I want to embrace changing jobs, and then go, oh yeah, but I can't because I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and what if we haven't asked that.
No. Just what do you want to embrace?
What do you want to embrace? Well, actually, I'd like to change my work. I'd love to work in this area. Okay, I'd love to work 4 days a week and still earn the same amount of money that I've got now. I'd love to have a walk-in wardrobe.
And many people that have done this, what do I want to embrace? Their answers to this question has been things like peace, happiness, contentment. So whatever answers or words you come up with, it's just, but what does that look like?
Yeah, because, I was going to, because I don't want people to get overloaded, so I was going to come back to that.
No worries. So what I'm just saying, come from the heart use the words, but remember that it doesn't stay there.
Yeah. So, and everything's movable anyway.
Yeah.
What do you want to add to your life?
And this can sound similar to the previous question.
It
so
can.
If you got stuck on the previous question, what do you want to add to your life? What do you want to add to your life? Could be an easier one to answer.
Yeah. Or as you fed back when we were doing the workshop, what does Chris want or need right now?
Yeah. And I believe I want people to listen to me.
Yeah, that was one of them, which was really good.
Which came up many times.
Yeah.
What do you want to add to your life?
And the last thing.
Yeah.
Now, this is the one that sometimes people go, ooh. Think of 10 things you would like in your life. Now, these 10 things is something that I first did. Oh, how old am I now? I first did.
Oh, you're 70, ain't you?
Yeah, I'm 60 now. I first did, I'll never forget when my marriage finished, and we'd separated, and I was on holiday with my children, and I was scared. I'm not going to say I wasn't scared. I was absolutely scared. And somebody gave me this tip, and they said, take a notepad with you, sit on the beach, or if you're sitting by the pool with the kids, whatever, whenever you've got a time, just have a piece of paper and write down 10 things that you would like in your life. And that includes small things and big things. And when you think about them, do not think about the money.
Yeah.
Do not think about the time. There's no restrictions, but you have to do it from your heart. And I did that. And I still do that now. And I've actually got my 10 things sitting on the board right next to me.
Are you going to share them, or are you going to keep them private?
Yeah, okay. I don't mind.
You share them.
Once I did that,
then
I put it down. And when I was walking along the beach, because my children at that time were doing something, what's my purpose in life? Now, your purpose in life is something that evolves. It doesn't necessarily stay the same. And a lot of this doesn't stay the same if you do this, regularly, say annually or every couple of years. So I don't mind sharing my 10 things. So walking regularly. For me to get outside, even yesterday, it was great. It was awful. I haven't been well with my chest. My chest is feeling so much better. It was a real pleasure to be out yesterday, and I was out for a good hour. In that wind, blowing out the cobwebs, but just looking around.
It's very windy yesterday.
Yeah. So yoga. Why yoga? Because it makes me feel fitter, and meditation. And sometimes we get very busy, and it's those kind of things we put aside, and yet that's important to me. So
it's one of your fundamentals, isn't it? It's a non-negotiable.
Yeah. So if I don't go to yoga nidra, then I need to make sure that I go to yoga. And I've just realised I've booked things in on my yoga days, or I've got work, so I need to move it around.
And you need to balance,
Yes. Travel, such as touring, like India. India's on my, and it's something that I do want to do. Am I doing it at the moment? No, but I'm still opening my ideas to it, because you never know what's available, what's going to happen. Forever home filled with love and family. And family for me is about chosen family, even within your own family, because family dynamics is challenging. I'm not saying that. I put my hand up to that. It's one of the most challenging things. So for me, that is about chosen family. So family is about your friends as well. Good food, whatever that looks like. Hobbies, painting, golf. And the reason why I say that is because it's too easy again to forget our hobbies.
Yeah, and not to put them in, not make time for them.
Yeah, and painting, whilst I might not always be painting at home, in my new role, that's something we get to do, like that when I work in residential care as well now. So I get to do painting there, and I love it. but it opens my mind. And so because it's on
Yeah,
my list, when I'm doing it, I'm really mindful, like, wow,
yeah,
this is one of the things I wanted to bring into my life. And I wanted to share that because it opens it up with people, because we often miss these things. Live events, music, theatre,
yeah,
you know, that's something that I absolutely love. And even if it's things I get invited to different things, you know, I can think about when I first was invited to an opera. Oh, I don't know if I'll understand it. But I said yes, because I thought, well, it's music, it's theatre, let's go. And I read up about it and I went and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Time for being with friends and laughter. I mean, how hard is that sometimes? And it is hard at times. And
yeah,
even if we can't do it in person, to be able to try and make time for each other is important. And fitting it in is challenging. You know, I had a day on Saturday where it was a long day, but it was really good because I also had a, a Christmas brunch. I know it was early, but it was good to go to. And then I got on the train to go to a 30th for a few hours in the evening. But by thinking ahead of it and then doing it, actually, yes, it was tiring, but it lifted spirits. Following my passion, awareness and education, and that's around what we do. You know,
yeah,
that is important. That's key. You know, the podcast is something that's very passionate, you know, key for both of us. So it's like anything, even when it gets challenging. Okay, so how can we adjust it? And we've made changes and we've, you know, I've had different commitments and it might change again, you know, if you have different commitments. But when you know you've got that purpose and it's what you want,
yeah.
you
You
make it
find a way.
happen. You
Yeah,
find a way. And then I've got in big writing, graduating from university, and I'm
yeah.
doing a degree. I'm doing part time. So I won't actually graduate till 2029. Is it 2029 or 2020? Yeah, because I do a module a year now. So I've got
Oh,
4 years.
wow.
Yes. So this module I'm on now is my first one of my second year, and it won't finish till next May. So my
Right.
second module will start the 25th and finish 26th. Oh no, 2028.
Wow,
So
it's a long time.
it is, but that's why I've put it there, because that's what I
Yeah,
want to show people. We're not looking at doing things, everything now. Some of these
a
are
long
long ways,
term.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And that one I'm putting a date on. India, I'm not putting a date on that one now
yeah,
because I don't want to overload myself. I'm putting it there, but I don't want it to become so it's overloading. But I'm still going to enjoy downloading all the images. And
yeah.
then my purpose in life is to inspire, educate, and live a life past trauma and proactive prevention of abuse.
Yeah.
So I've quickly gone on to those 10 things. How did you find doing that list for yourself, Chris, with those 10 things?
So again, because it's a snapshot in time, I'm feeling a particular way at the moment because of work experiences and things like that to this point in time. So I found that when I went through those questions, when I wasn't thinking about it, it was just coming from the heart, it all of my answers were coming up to that particular issue that I have at the moment. And it's really interesting that because everything is focused in on that particular thing, then I need to spend some time finding solutions to the way that I'm feeling because of those answers that come up. Now, if I was to use those 10 questions about different areas in my life, I would come up with different answers to those 10 questions. So I'm going to go back over and do those 10 questions again to come from the heart with the answers, but to look at where I want to be next year in my business, in my personal life, in my health and well-being, with my kids, for example. So I'm going to look at all the different areas and come up with different answers to those questions. And then once I have that, I'm going to do a visual board to bring all of that to life for me. Because when I did it with you on Saturday, because I've honed in on a specific thing, for me, that's quite limiting, that particular subset of stuff that I come up with, and it doesn't feel particularly good. It's given me a direction of where to go now, but I want to use this vision board to actually show me the next 12 and 24 months. I don't want to just be stuck in the one thing. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And one thing I want to just highlight, and I know you won't mind because we're doing the podcast, is some of the things that you've been saying to yourself there. Because one of the things I said about the vision board is about not putting time on this for the minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I heard you say in the next year.
Yeah.
Or in the next 12 to 24 months. Can you see how we do that? And suddenly it's like, whoa, hold on. What if I don't achieve that? And I'm bringing this up because we all naturally do it. So I just want you to think for the minute, take that away when you're doing a general one, and take away all restrictions. And that means time as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Only because we're doing vision here. We're not doing goals.
Yeah. And then once I have my vision, then I can work my goals into that. Yeah.
Absolutely. So out of your list, I'm not going to go through your list to respect your privacy, but I'm just going to pick out one thing. One of the things you've put is tidy house, and I'm picking out the practical thing on purpose. Okay. So tidy house, fantastic. Now that's always going to be evolving.
Yeah. And my plan there is to get someone else to come and do the tidying, because I don't want to waste my time doing that.
Yeah, but that's okay for the moment, because we're not even looking for solutions.
Yeah.
I just wanted to use this as an example. But can you see what we do? And it's brilliant that you're doing it, because that is so natural. We're in our head so much that as we're thinking about something, we're also thinking about solution. No. Come back. Tidy house. And I'm going to use this example now for a vision board.
Yeah.
So what is a vision board? Well, a vision board is something you can see visually. So we're taking it out of our head, because it is all it's in our brain, it's in our neural thinking all the time. But until we take it out and we can see it, it just goes round and round and round and round. It's like a washing machine. It goes round and round and round, and then it also gets pushed aside all the time, because we're thinking about this thing and we're thinking about that thing, and we haven't got the capacity to keep everything in our mind.
Yes.
So this is where, what is a vision board and what is it to you? And there are a number of different ways you can do it. My basic vision board is my list here on my left that I've written down. So you can do it on a piece of paper that you want to put drawings all around it. You can buy yourself a lovely book. You can do it on a I like using old rolls of wallpaper.
That's what I was looking for. My old vision board. I was trying to see if I could find it, but I can't. But carry on.
But so that gives you space. You choose what you want to do on it, because there's nothing worse than someone saying you must do it this way, and it's like, oh, I don't want to do it that way.
Yeah.
Because some people want to do it online. It may be that you're quicker online and you can get up and I'm going to say Word, for instance. It may be Excel. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, to do the list first of all. It may be that you do it on Word or Excel or on. You've got a lovely writing tool that you use.
Oh,
the
my
electronic
Remarkable,
one.
Yeah. My Remarkable, yeah.
Remarkable. So whatever way you want to do your list, you do it in your way. Now, another way is keep using the note sticks. When it comes to me doing it for professional reasons, I use my note sticks a lot because I can move them around. Okay. Or post-it notes. Post-it notes. But I tend to, when I want to be chronological, I'm using post-it notes, because then I can move it around. But some people want to do it on Word and then they can move it around, or Excel. So you do what's right for you. No one is telling you what to do. Okay. And then If you want to take it so it's more visual, how can you do it? Well, again, you don't have to feel like I've got no money, I can't go out and buy this. You don't have to do that. Again, you know, is there an old bit of cardboard around that you can use so that you've got something? Is there an old picture that you have that you don't want to use anymore, and you've been like an old canvas, paint it white, you know, use that. Or Pinterest, as you said, go on Pinterest. You can even use your social media if you're finding you're scrolling a lot, you know, like if you're using Facebook or if you're using Instagram, anything like that. You can start following people of taking part in groups that resonate with your list. So I thought I'd be brave and go onto Pinterest, because I haven't touched Pinterest for years, and I looked at it years ago and thought, oh, no. So I thought, actually, I'm going to look at doing it for a minute because I'm doing it both ways, on Pinterest. So thinking about your tidy home, I'm thinking about my forever home. I started a board on Pinterest and literally just went through different images that resonated with me. Not, oh, I can't do that, or I can't do that. No, hold on. Just going through the different images. So first of all, I looked at, for me, homes. And then I was looking at, well, what would the kitchen look like? So when you're thinking a tidy home, okay, what is your first room you'd think of?
Oh, even this office, it needs a bit of tidying up over there.
Okay, so start with office. So start looking at office spaces. I haven't got space. Okay, start looking at compact office spaces. I haven't got the money. Okay, why don't you look at projects? And this is what I do a lot on Interest. You know, and some people are so clever and they can look at a space and they can change it round, but they're using old furniture and just painting it, etc. And again, I can hear people saying, oh, yeah, but I haven't got time for that. Hold on. Where's the time restriction? This could be something that you can do for 10 minutes of a day when you're having a nice cup of tea. You're doing 10 minutes for yourself, and you're just looking at different images of how you'd like it to look.
Yeah. So it's almost taking 2 steps back before you even get involved in whatever it is that you need to be doing.
Yeah, and that's really interesting, isn't it? Because you've said 2 steps back, and that's how some people are going to see it. But actually, I see it as 2 steps forward towards
prepping.
your vision.
Yeah.
Because and I understand that. It's like me learning to do essays, academic essays. I have to do an essay plan. What's that? And to me, that's a waste of time. However, I've now learned it's not a waste of time. It's the most beneficial thing I could do. And actually, I would have said at one time, I'm wasting all that time doing an essay plan, whereas actually now I can't do an essay without the essay plan.
Because it keeps you focused, does it? Yeah.
Yes, it does. And not focused in a way that at first I was a bit prickly about it. What, you're making me accountable already? I haven't even written it. That was me. That was me. That was my fear.
Yeah.
So a bit like when you're looking at an area, say like your office, and you're looking at Pinterest, or you've got magazines. I've just picked up loads of magazines because from a local neighbour, because I put a message out, and I literally go through the magazines and tear out the pictures that I like. Don't even think about what they are. It might be clothes, it might be scenery, it might be buildings, it might be places to go, it might be a piece of furniture, it might be some writing. You know, if you see a headline, I like how the headline's written, but I want that word, and I take it out. So just rip it up, rip them out so you get a pile.
Yeah.
And then with that, or you can use postcards. You can use a board to stick them on, as I mentioned, an old piece of cardboard, or you could buy a cork board or a magnet board.
Yeah. And then use those lovely magnets that someone used in our workshop.
Absolutely. Well, they decorated it, didn't they? With they had clips, butterfly clips for change.
Yeah.
And then sunflower pins.
Pins, yeah.
Yeah, and this is the magic of a vision board. Whatever format you're doing it, whether it be electronic or whether it be an actual vision board, you are creating this yourself. If you've got the pleasure of having a whole day to do it in a whole day. But if you find that I haven't got that time, okay, put that board up and just keep adding to it. But no, you know, when you're out, I like looking at cards, you know, and even in charity shops, finding things. So you can go into shops. I love a stationery shop. You know, you might see an image. Oh, I want that. I'm going to put that on my board. I'm not buying a coffee today. I'm going to buy myself a postcard. So it's creating it in a way that it works for you.
Yeah, I was just thinking back to my last vision board, which I did years ago, Bev, and it is here somewhere. And I can just remember things being on there. It was like going on loose swimming to raise awareness of child sexual abuse, for example. Now, I never got on to loose swimming. However, got on the radio, doing the silence radio show, did my own radio show, done this podcast. So even if you don't get to do the specific thing, you're still doing, or we are still doing, child sexual abuse awareness raising by doing all of these different things. So just thinking back, it was a vision and it didn't transpire as I wanted it to, but it has transpired, but in a different way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what's so important, because there is a link to loose women, because Eamon Holmes
was married
to a loose woman, but he's also been a supporter of your charity, hasn't he?
Well, not the charity, but of the book
Your book.
Yeah.
So there is a loose connection. But can you see how you put that vision up and what you wanted to use that vision for, and how you've done that? And don't underestimate the number of times you've appeared on TV interviews and radio interviews, and you continue to. So well done, because there's your little reminder, and it'll be really good when you do find your vision board. And coming back to vision boards, one thing I'm going to say is put it in a place that is right for you, so you can look at it, because it's a tool. So when we're having those challenges, when we feel that we're stuck, have a look. When we've got a day and we've got some time unexpectedly, especially when we've got young children and we've got time on our own, it's like, oh God, I've got time on my own. What am I going to do? Oh, I don't know. I haven't got any money. Well, let me look at my board. So when you look at your 10 things, it's like, oh, I can walk in regularly. Oh, I haven't walked this week. Oh, let's go for a nice walk. Wrap up and go for a nice walk. And that's what having this visually means, and making it so that you've got it there to remind yourself. It's not to berate yourself with.
So one of our participants at our workshop has their corkboard in front of them next to their bed. So as soon as they wake up, they see their vision board as a reminder. And even if you are having a down day, or you don't have the energy to do anything on your vision board, it doesn't matter. It brings a smile to your face, because it's a reminder of what you want to do, because it's truly your thing. You've made it, you've created it, it's what you want to do. So it's just a reminder of where you're going to work towards.
Absolutely. And we're not going to talk about goal setting apart from the follow-up to doing your vision board. Is about your first goal is creating or answering these questions. And that for some people will be, they'll do it straight away. For some people, they'll do it over weeks. So that goal is your own. But once a vision board's completed, it then gives you something with clarity to think, okay, which one do I want to do? So for you, with your office, Chris, I really would, what is the thing that appeals to you most on looking? Do you want to look online, or do you want to look in magazines about how you'd like your office space to be?
Oh, that's not a thing for me. It just needs sorting out and shredding. I think a lot of that just needs shredding.
Okay, so that's straight away you've identified something to start with.
Yeah. 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 I won't show you it.
Not judging, not judging. But again, that's where for me, this time it's raining at the moment, but when I've had to do things like that, I've taken great pleasure in burning it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, either needs probably needs shredding and burning, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, we won't go too far into that.
No.
So for anyone listening or watching, I hope we've inspired you to think about those questions. I won't put them up. I was going to say we'll put them up in the underneath, but if we do that, that will actually could be a bit overwhelming for some people. So if you do want the questions written down for you, please email us at BreakingTheCycleToStepForward@gmail.com. The link for our email address will be underneath the video or the audio that you're listening to. And if you do have a vision board or you do complete one, please send us an image, and that would be really fab.
And equally, if you would like to do a vision board workshop and you would like us to host it for you, then please get in touch and let us know.
Absolutely. So we've wrapped that up nicely. Chris, thank you very much, and thank you for participating in that, because you were very honest in the workshop, and I know that that can be challenging, but it opens it up, doesn't it? About possibilities.
It does. And I started looking into how to become an MP over the weekend. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just looking into it.
But remember what Sarah Champion said to us.
100%. But I was looking into how to become a councillor, how to become an MP, and actually, is it the right course of action? But you often have to do the research to make a decision.
Absolutely. But you've opened your mind. There you go.
My mind has always been open, but I'd rather be an activist and knock at people's doors than do the next step that I didn't think was right for me. But who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? Because I don't even know yet.
Oh, thank you for your honesty, Chris. And thank you to everyone listening or watching. And we look forward to our next session. Thank you.
Bye for now,
Bye-bye.
everyone.